Mic check, mic check. What's kicking, family? I'm glad you've clicked in so I can check in with you. I'm Mr. Batch, and I'm a member of the BBC. Yes, the Big Blue Commission. The G-Man, the New York Football Giant fan base. Yes, and the flashing light you see up underneath my chin is to signify warning, warning, warning. Trade deadline imminent. October 29th, the Giants will have a fire sale. The Giants will have a fire sale. Warning, warning, warning. Well, that's my take on the robot from Lost in Space. Yes. Lost in Space, you say? Yes, I just hit the Wayback Machine on you folks. And if you have no idea or any clue about that TV program, hey, Google it and you'll see. That robot was one of the characters and one of the central figures in the TV show where Dr. Smith and Will Robinson, who was part of the family, Dr. Smith went along. He's one of the sabotage, and they were lost in space, yada, yada, yada. That was a brief synopsis of the show. But I used to like that show, and that is my theme for this video. Warning, we might have a fire sale come October 29th. Mr. Batch continues. Now, Manning leads the league in interceptions with 15. Quarterback coach Sean Payton has a lot of confidence in Eli, and that he needs to still throw in those tight windows. He's a man who's been able to push the envelope on a lot of our offensive plays. He has not been successful as of late because our record is 0-6. A lot of the blame has to go to Eli because he's been throwing those picks. Several of them went for pick sixes, and it's tough to swallow. I mean, we are not too far removed from winning a chip. That's why all eyes are on us, and duly so, because of being at 0-6. Now, Sean Ryan, the quarterback coach, is 100% confident in our quarterback Eli Manning to shake off this kind of slump, this kind of doldrums, in order to get on track and to be the elite quarterback that he is. Yes, I said he's an elite quarterback. I don't give a damn what all these other people say, the sports prognosticators, those on the sports talk shows, even those across the internet who like to beat my man up. Yeah, he's got 2 chips plus 2 MVP trophies from the bowl. Now, Antrell Roll is very vociferous about this team and letting it all hang out, and I'm going along with him. I haven't listened to too many of the shows because it just hurts my heart. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to be 0-6, and like my man Eric PABC says, yo, just blow it up. Like my man Tough did, Truth Under Fire, had laid all this at the feet of Jerry Reese, and he just might be right. You know, Jerry Reese has to take the hit on this. But in the meantime, what do we do for this team? What I've been reading is they've been bringing in some running backs. Why? David Wilson has the problem with the neck, with the spine thing. Might have to do an operation. Brandon Jacobs has a hamstring problem. Oh, my man, I read a quote where during the radio broadcast, they reported from the sidelines that when will Brandon Jacobs asked to come out, and Carl Banks said, come on, man, please give me a break. The dude's been off for a year. You gonna ask out of a game and you haven't played in a year. Man, Carl Banks is funny. God got a sense of humor. But this is what happened with our beloved Big Blue. They've had workouts of running backs, of former 1,000-yard rusher Peyton Hillis, and you know he was the poster cover boy for the NFL Madden franchise. Madden NFL franchise. Yes, I'm a gamer. I've been playing Madden since its inception. All right. They've also worked out ex-G-Man Ryan Terrain, and they've worked out DJ Ware, and they've been working out rookie Jeremy Wright. Now, they've waived injured Darrell Scott to make cap space So what I was reading, they're talking about this probably be an addition to our running back core by the end of Wednesday. And this will be leading into our game against the Vikings. Now, 7th round pick Michael Cox took snaps with the first team on Monday, which means that he's going to get in the mix. Well, if Wilson can't go and he's got the neck thing, and then you've got Big Head Jacobs, he's got the hammy. Somebody's got to get reps with the first team. Now, if they bring in anybody else at the end of Wednesday, they will be the guy to give a breather to Michael Cox. Hey, look, we got to try something. All of you who know football 101 says the run sets up the pass. Not unless you do, this West Coast type deal where it's wide receiver screens, tight end screens, running back screens. That's trying to get the ball out in space and get you some yardage. And as they normally say, and as we can see, it's a form of a running game because it'll get you anywhere from 3 to 7 yards and maybe bust a big one. Now, Mr. Batch continues. Now, moving into my theme of warning, fire sale. Before we get there, the reason we got to that point is because I had to cut this out the paper. This week. It said, we didn't start the fire. And they chronicled all the big plays in our 6 losses, which is hard for me to take. They pinpointed several positives that the Giants had in each one of those games, and we followed it up by shooting ourselves in the foot by not following up. And I'm not going to go into any of that stuff right now. You guys who can get yourselves a copy of the Daily News from earlier this week, let me give you the date of that one today. It was the Monday edition, October 14, 2013 Daily News Sports section that you could read that for yourself. You can get that at your local library, which has the week's recording of the daily newspapers, and you can go online. Mr. Batch continues. Now, moving right along, the big rumor now is that Nicks might be gone by the October 29th. Warning, fire sale, October 29th. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in again. But the real thing is business is business. I've been reading that whenever there's been a reporter that's been approaching Nicks talking about, will he be a Giant past the season or anything to that effect, he just goes, business is business. I'm glad to be a Giant, and I'm going to, keep playing and enjoy being a Giant. Why not? What do you want him to say? You want him to say something volatile? So as a ball player, he is staying in his lane. He's just focusing on playing football. I wish he could play better. I wish he would show flashes. I wish he could show some consistency from what made him the pick that he was, and the number 1 wide receiver that Cruz keeps referring to him as. Now, at the end of the season, Nicks is unsigned. The trade deadline is on October 29th. Now, the G-men won't trade him, but they'll listen to offers I've been reading. Rumors have it that the 49ers and Falcons are interested. As you know, what their wide receiving core has a few injury issues for those two respective teams. Now, if he was to be traded at that point, it would be 10 games that Hakeem Nicks would have to, show his stuff in order to warrant a nice big contract at the end of the season. Now, in the event that the G-men on the business side trade Nicks. Now, the reason I say on the business side, because I'm behind my team 100%. When management does the trading of such a high-profile player, I was reading that the locker room would be, kind of hurt, kind of decimated. Brandon Jacobs had mentioned it. I'm not sure any other ball players, but they've been sticking the microphone in his face and getting a couple of quotes from him since he's joined the team. Now, Knicks traded, that's a signal to me that management is like, let's get what we can. Season might be over, and there we have a fire sale. Yo, for me, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I was married to her. And as you know, it ain't over till the clock reads zeros. So until my team is mathematically out of it, I've got the mindset of Antro Roll, and it's like, yo, full steam ahead, guns ablazing, let it all hang out, like how he has said in the statement that I read in today's paper from his television show, that, you know, let it all hang out. You know what? Let it all hang out. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, because look, you're 0-6. Let it all hang out. You're 0-6. Now, with the trade of Knicks, the possible trade of Knicks, you know, it could be a mid-level pick. If not, if there are multiple teams involved, it can go as high as a 3rd round pick. Now, in the event that Hakeem Nicks does want to get re-signed, you know he's going to be looking for more than the 5 years, $43 million that Cruz had received. Now, Cruz got the money. Cruz always refers to Hakeem Nicks as the number 1 receiver. Now, will Reese pull the trigger? Will Jerry Reese pull the trigger? If he does, what do we have to look forward to? Yes, Ruben Randall has stepped in nicely. As you know, he took a lot of the reps during training camp. He's shown some flashes of what he could do in several of these games already. So it wouldn't be too bad, and it would come at a cheaper price as far as the salary cap goes. Now, this Monday night at MetLife Stadium, we take on the 1-4 Vikings. Before we go into that, my condolences to Mr. Adrian Peterson and for his loss. Now, the 1-4 Vikings have their only win, and that was in England, and we're in 0-6. The Vikings are a 3-point favorite at home for this contest. Now, speaking of overseas and playing in England, the NFL wants to put a franchise in England. Now, if you're going to do that, I want to see the game from overseas. Now, when the Vikings played the Steelers, that game wasn't even televised here in New York City. Now, yo, Goodell, you guys, if you guys really want this to catch on, and if you're going to pay these guys enough money, and the Jaguars are the ones who wants to go overseas, where I think that they should have signed Tebow, because the read option would be perfect for him. You'd be able to fill your stadium, and even though you're over, we are the ones, the Giants are the ones that have the spotlight on them for being winless. As of this taping, it's 108 days until the Super Bowl, and I'm not giving up on my Giants until we are mathematically out of it. And even though the Super Bowl will be here at MetLife Stadium, as a football fan, I'm still looking forward to it. But I would love to see the G-Men in that contest. Now, Monday, big game. Got to get a win. No two ways around it. We have to win this game. My beloved G-Men losing big time. We are part of what the major media would be sticking their forks into us. And hey, come on now. You know, they have every right to. We're not too far removed from winning that chip of not so long ago, along with Eli Manning and him getting 2 MVP trophies. And on that note, I'm Mr. Batch. I'm out of here like I stole something. Peace.